All right, let's get started. So I am just back from the Pacific Coast Open, something like that. Pacific Coast Championship. I don't remember the name. I did pretty well. I went 3-2. Let's get started. Little echo there. I did end up leaving before the last round. I usually don't do that, but I know myself. I won the second to last round. I felt good about it. And I was like, I don't really want to sit here for 3 hours today and wait for the next round. I'm feeling good now. I might as well sort of take that feeling. It's my last tournament in the summer. So I decided to do that. Feel a little bit weird about it, but, you know, it was a good tournament. I had a good time, and I think I can be happy with that. All right, we now have another Queen in the Face mate. These are, I haven't been talking about these because these are the, first 10 or 12 or so are so easy. There's almost no point in them, but that's okay. This one actually is surprisingly a little hard because I was looking at this, but can't, I guess he can't get away. Then we go with the bishop, and now because this bishop has cut everything off, it's actually a mate. Okay, I was looking at a fork here, but there does not appear to be a fork. Perhaps the answer is just push the pawn. We don't see anything else to do here. Just push the pawn. Come over. We can go here to guard the pawn. The problem is then, let's say they go here. We push. They take. I guess we push the other one. It should be fine. Okay. Interesting. Check here is not mate because it gets out there. So if that's the case, is there something better for us? Check here. Check here. Not actually forking. Ooh, also, bishop's covering that. So none of this works at all. Okay. I guess what we do have, though, is check here, and this is covered by the knight also. So that is mate. Okay. Looking at check. They're still mate. They can't stop it. They can push both pawns, but none of them do anything. Could have pushed the queen as well. So we go here and then rook down here for the mate. Okay, this is the specialchess.com pushing back row mate. Got to be won every puzzle. Every puzzle rush. It's not a puzzle rush if there's not one of those. This seems like mate. No. Push there. Yeah, this is mate. Okay. Interesting. What's the material count? We are even. I'm looking at knight g4 to attack the queen, but it doesn't seem like it does anything. Oh, it does, actually. It allows me to win the bishop because it's attacking both. So now the question is, how did best do this? I think it's probably this way, forcing off the queens. Seems good when we're up. PLNR3, what's happening? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope things are going well for you. This is not a mate. First of all, this is covering it. Second of all, it's not mate. Could just dash away. So what do we do then? We have this check, which is quite forcing. I think this wins, actually. King has to move, and then the queen follows up with the mate on the back row. Boom. If this rook were supported, that would be mate. That is not the case. What if we stick our queen here? Also mate. So can we make that happen? Looks like we can. We could go here, check. This doesn't quite work. They take with the rook. We go with the queen, check. It does work. Okay. It just doesn't work quite how I was originally thinking about it. I had to rethink it. Recently started listening to the Chess Journeys podcast and you really enjoy it. Wow, I'm happy to hear. What episode made you think, yeah, I like this show? I'm always curious to know what's the show that hooked people. Oh, actually, this isn't quite as clear as I thought. I thought I was going to go here and it's mate, but they can go there, and now that is not very clear anymore. So, is there a move we have to make first? Or does that actually work and I'm just being ridiculous? Let me think one more time. So check, obviously they can't take with the rook. Rook, and then rook takes, and then queen, and then take the queen. But what if we go queen e8, and then they just immediately go queen d8? I guess what we end up doing is winning this rook, which is very interesting. I thought we were going in for mate, but we're going check here, check. It would be mate, so they have to take, and then we win the rook at the end. So this is a really important skill in chess. Like, this is a real moment of where you got to be able to change gears, and it's really, really hard when you're in a game and you have that big attack and you're like, I'm going for mate, I'm going for mate. And then to be able to pull back and be like, mate's not there. What can I get? Okay, so we've got this check. Is blocked by plenty of things. So check seems a little bit pointless, at least currently. We have a better idea. We can go rook c1. It's actually threatening this bishop if the queen just moves. And I don't see how the queen can do anything but just move. It can't protect that bishop. It can't take anything good. Yeah, this just wins. Wins by winning the bishop. Wow, this looks like a juicy square. I don't think there's anything there, though. We can go here, check. Better, we can go here, checkmate. Okay, this king is very cut off. Is this just an immediate mate? Because this pawn is holding everything off, it looks like it is. Boop. Any of the lower rated guests I like the most because I'm new to chess myself. Yeah, this is what I really like about the show, is that I get some people who say, I only like the higher rated guests. I don't even listen to the lower rated guests. They don't offer me anything. And I'm like, okay. And then other people are like, the lower rated guests, they're my favorites. They're the ones that are closer to my rating. I get the most out of their journey. So that's one of the things that makes the show so fascinating to me, is that I feel like every guest helps somebody. And I think that's a lot of fun. Okay. What are we doing here? There's a lot of stuff, like looking at each other. There's just a lot happening here, and I can't, at a glance, I can't sort it out. So now I'm going to start going in deeper and see if I can sort it out. This is the kind of position I know that I'm struggling with lately. It's this, like, actually having to calculate and look at a bunch of moves. So the first move that I was looking at is this idea. We're attacking the queen. They're going to have to do something about that. If they do nothing, let's just say they move the queen, I take this bishop, and I don't see a way. No, I guess that's not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they can't back up the bishop because these are covered by the other knight. So that would mean they have to do something about that. They can't just move. So most likely they would take with the bishop. And then this is where I got a little bit stuck. But there is something interesting here. So if we take back with the pawn, the queen is being hit again. And we're still having this threat. And the queen still can't back up the bishop. So I think this works in a bit more of a circuitous manner. Okay. That would be mate if that was covered. This would be very strong if we could do it. So it's just kind of two ideas I'm tucking away. As Jan Marcos would say, I'm filling the freezer. Free plug for the awesome book Under the Surface. Additionally, this square would be mate if we could stick the queen there. And that one looks maybe more doable. Right? That one, we could go here. And we're threatening to stick him there. I'm also looking at this queen as a potential target with something like g3. What would that do for us? Problem is they could just move back to either of these squares, so I'm not really sure. I definitely have a lot of ideas I'm storing up about this position, but solving it is becoming harder, and I think I see the answer now. I think it's none of those ideas. I think it's simply the idea being that this king does not have a lot of places to move, so what if we go a different angle? We check over here, and now there's nothing they can do about it. They can bring the pawn in, but it doesn't do anything. We still get the mate. Okay. The square is covered, so they can't escape up. So if we just go here, that just mate. Drawn to this idea, but they do take. But I would take. So maybe there's something there. There's also the idea of taking here lures the queen to this square, but there's not a way to fork that square with my knight. Okay, so some more ideas that we're storing up here. Let's come back to this idea. If they can't move the bishop, and the queen has to stay covering the bishop. So let's say queen has still several places it could go. Nope, sorry, just these three. What can we do from there? Well, from here, we're also threatening checkmate. So this is a very strong move. They would almost have to go like here or here, and then this guy. Oh, okay. So if we go here, and they go here, I think I would take with the queen. It doesn't work. Wow, check this out. So here, blocking the mate. We can't take the bishop because our queen is hanging, so we trade queens first to allow us to take. But they take with the knight backing up the bishop, and then it doesn't work. Wow, okay. That is surprising. I really thought I had solved it. And I think that works, but now we got to find a different way to put these ideas together. Okay, so knight f4. If they bring the queen there, and I were to take immediately the bishop, I would lose. I could move the queen, but I don't really have anywhere good to move the queen. I could put the knight, the other knight, on e4, and I'm hitting this bishop twice. But it seems like the bishop now could just move out of the way. Oh my. Okay, so takes there, takes there. Can I move this knight out of the way now? I could go here with my knight. And then if they move the bishop, this would be weak. So I'm going to do this. I don't know that this is right, but it seems good. Oh, I was missing they could take there, though. But I also missed this fork at the end. I knew there was something there, but it feels hollow, right? Like, I did not get that right. I get credit for getting it right. But if that's a game, I don't know if I even go for it, because I might be like, I don't see it. So this is the challenge of this. This knight move looks interesting. It's attacking the rook. The rook can just move, though. And this knight is blocking this square. If I could go here and mate, that would be great. But they can block with two different methods. So that does not work. This check looks cool, but they just get away. I guess maybe the point is I can check again, but if they go here, they're still defending the rook, but then maybe I go here, chasing them away, and it's even mate. But what's the material count? Okay, so the material count. So this does work. So it's here, here, and then if they come out, that's fine. We just take the rook. Rook h8. Yep. Okay. Now what? Okay, so there is this. something to put in the freezer. This is a trade that is fine if we need to buy time to be able to do something with the knight. So it looks like what we could probably do is go take here. The rook is falling. I guess the question is, can they do this move? Which attack. Now we have two hanging pieces. And this is being guarded, so we can't just take. Unless there's a fork at the end. But I'm not seeing one. Okay, so real quick. Takes. There. We're up a piece. They go there. Yeah, and I don't have many pieces left to even get involved here. So maybe it's a little different. Maybe that doesn't work. Perhaps the answer is here or here. But this looks better. We're hitting both. If they go here, we take, they take, and again, it feels like it's just a trade at that point. Looking at other forks, like this, plus this does hit the king. So if we went takes, here, check, but then they could just take. Doesn't seem to work. Seems like we're just shy of making this work. Takes the pawn, goes there, takes their queen, they take me. My knight comes out this way. I get two pawns, so I'm just gonna say that, oh, I guess I don't get that pawn. That I'm getting a pawn, I'm getting a really nice position, I'm happy with it. But it is not correct. Fried Foxy's here. What's happening, Foxy? Okay, so let's see, what was the right answer here? I didn't like this because this one I couldn't figure out. I still don't see it. I mean, there is this check, but so what? They just take. Yeah, I don't see it. I was so close. Okay. But I was so far away. How does this work? Oh, because it's backed up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, almost got there. Okay. Oh well. We'll shake that one off and move on. So this king cannot move. So if we can get a check, that's game. We can get a check. But if we take this check, then you can move. So that becomes a question. What do we do then? We can't really use any other pieces. I suppose what we could do, though, is just checkmate here. Yeah. So just use the last thing available. The pawn. Yeah, you're right. Large double-double. I was still a piece up. I just missed it. Okay. So, because of the way this is structured, I know the answer. But we're going to calculate because I don't know that works in a real game. So I would go check. They would have to move over. I'd go check. They'd move over. I would go check. They would move over. And now we run. And can the king get in the square? The king cannot get in the square. I had something very similar to this happen over the weekend. In my tournament, I was able to win with one of those, forcing the rook trades to win. Okay, I mean, this looks very promising, but at a first glance, it seems like they have a way out. So they can't do this, because then they're lost. But the material, I'm guessing we're down a piece. We're actually down 2 pieces. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So if we go here, and they play here, I guess I still get a really nice discovery by going here. And if I go here and they move over, then I go here But all we're just, oh yeah, we'd be just even in material. We would have a very nice attack, and they're underdeveloped. So if I was in a game, I'd be very happy with this idea. But let's just do a quick calculation. Takes, moves over, takes. The rook is hanging. And f3 is a real threat afterwards. Okay, this is certainly right. Okay, and then that's just ludicrous. That loses on the spot. You asked us a few days back to give feedback on your Extra Bonus podcast, so here it is. Awesome, let's hear it. I enjoyed hearing the stories of your games and would listen again. However, I want more moves, and please mention the opening names and maybe the type of structure you reach in the games. Wow. Foxy. So I appreciate that feedback. My thought is most people who listen to the podcast will not like that because they won't be able to follow the moves. So I don't know. That's a really interesting question. Am I just wrong on who the audience is? I'm not sure. Check here. Check. Hide in the corner. Can I get mate? It doesn't seem like it. The rook is holding everything at bay. Check. Here. Okay, the other thing I was looking at is here. And then it's mate. Except for it's not mate, because they can move the bishop. Then if I go here, they go up. Maybe then I go... No, I can't do that, because then the checks come. Maybe it's okay. Maybe I get away from that. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some calculation there. Check here. Check. Oh, wait. It's not check. Move. Check here. Check. Takes. I mean, this seems like it's going to lead to mate. I think we can be happy with that. See, that's where I should have calculated more carefully. I just thought that, like, if I was playing a game, that would be enough. But this is what I'm talking about. This is a real weakness of mine. So I just didn't see the mate here. Okay. So we just get the material and we're fine. Okay. One more. And then it's all over. We're done. And this one seems hard to me for some reason. We have this check, but it doesn't look like it... Well, maybe it does. Okay. So check on h7. King takes. Queen moves over, check. King has to go back to g8. Knight g5, threatening mate on h7. If they move the rook over, and then I play h7, king moves over, queen h8, they have knight blocks the check. In shocking fashion, they seem to hold on. Takes, check, there. But we also, oh no, we don't have this check because the rook is covering it. But if the rook moves over, I'm going to go for it. Like this, whoa, okay. It felt right to me, but then they went there. That's really strange. I go here, I guess. Here. This is the pattern. But if I do that pattern, it doesn't work out. So it goes here. So I guess now I'm going here, and now it does work. The knight gets pulled away from its spot. And they sack the queen, that's fine. You cross 2,400 bullet? Wow. That is pretty dang good. I did record another tournament recap round by round this tournament, and one of the rounds I'm very salty. So much so that I'm trying to decide if I need to at least edit it, because I was very upset with my opponent. I'm trying to decide how much I don't name the opponent, of course, but still, I'm not sure how much I want to specifically put them on blast. Check here. Check. Goes back. Mate. Seems quite good. Takes. Yeah, it's all forcing. The mate. So check here. There. Okay, so check on e7 seems like the right first move, and I think they have to play king d8. So how do I respond to that? I can't check on either side with the bishop, which seems very strange. It seems like that's the obvious answer, but it doesn't work. Did they behave unsportsmanlike? They behaved in a very distracting and gross manner. That's what I would say. Not necessarily well, depends on the way you would say unsportsmanlike. And if it was an adult, I would say yes. But it's a kid, and it's like, I don't know. It's all complicated because it's a kid. Oh man, I don't know that I can solve this one. Maybe let's try a whole different track. So we're going to put it in the freezer. Now we've got this idea. Cool. Moving on. What else have we got? The problem is there's not a lot else. I guess we do have the check on b5, which again, oh yeah, that's clearly the answer. So we get to force the king back. The king can only go here or here. Either one we follow up with the rook, and then it's mate. So I had to get away from my idea to be able to make this happen. I think this is the check, make a queen move. And then it's even check, take here, and we will be able to stop that. Yeah, so this looks like the very standard sort of endgame technique that everyone needs to know. That would be in my 100 endgames you should know. That maneuver. That comes up a lot. Okay. Got a couple things to be aware of. This pawn is pinned. There's a discovery here. After a discovery, you can go there. And if we go here, they can't capture. And it's actually... Is it mate, or can they stop the check somehow? They can stop the check. So we go here. They can put the queen here and actually stop the check. But then we can go here, checking them and taking away the defender of their queen. What? That is right! Okay. Well, apparently that's wrong. Why is this wrong? What else can they do to stop the... Maybe it's because they can go here. Yeah. Darn. So, what was the actual right answer? Actual right answer is... Remember how I said the queen could go here? We could just block! No, we can't go there. And now it's mate. Balderdash. I get very easily distracted in pack tournament halls. Never had a bad opponent, though. Yeah, earplugs would be a great idea. Unfortunately, I needed eye plugs for this one. That was the problem there. He actually, like, some kids are really annoying audibly. Like, they're coughing at you and they're banging stuff, and that is very frustrating. This kid was fine in all of that. It was just, yeah, he did other things that were pretty gross that I was really annoyed by. We'll say that. And what's interesting is, like, thinking about it, I put a lot of it on me, right? Like, I need to be stronger mentally, that I do not allow one kid's annoyingness to potentially contribute to the blunder I made to win. I mean, to lose. A baseball cap is like earplugs for chess tournament. Yeah. I was doing the thing where I was putting my hands over my face and trying to shield myself from him. But he just really got under my skin. Let's just say that. He was like the Dennis Rodman of chess, if that makes any sense to anybody. All of my sports references are from the 90s. So that's where I have to go. All right. Let's go ahead and play a game of Blitz. I'll put a challenge link in there. We'll play a game. Oh, interesting. What's going on here? Oh, it's going to show that. That's fine. I'm not a professional. We can have mistakes that happen. Yeah, I do like that idea. A baseball cap does seem like a good idea. I kind of want to, like, I don't know, be in some sort of bubble or something. Also, I'm really torn. I like using my own set. I have, really heavy pieces, and I enjoy the feel of them and using them. But then I'm also at the mercy of disgusting opponents. And so I wonder if when I play kids, maybe I just should be like, let's use your set. Like, just in case, in the off chance that you're going to do something wild, let's use your set. I had one kid that was destroying the pieces during the game, just grinding up the felt. Yes! That was part of what was happening. I didn't even mention that. That was a smaller thing, but he started doing that, and I was like, I'm going to have to stop him. It's very frustrating. During the usual 1 minute courtesy wait, otherwise I will take it. Go ahead and take it, Pride Boxy. I don't think anyone is jumping in today. I think it's just you and I for some blitz. But yeah, I think I should show also my final game. It was if the combo I did works, it was my shining moment. I'm gonna do a calculation study on it probably tomorrow. I'm gonna stream it. I've decided a way I'm going to try to fix my calculation is by really trying to look at some of my own games and positions where I struggled. Because what I've realized is that the calculation work I've been doing are puzzles with answers, and that's just not realistic enough for me. When I know there is an answer, well, of course I'm going to try to find the answer, and I'm going to keep calculating until I find it, and then when I find it, I'm like, yay, I found the answer. Whereas it just feels like that's not what real calculation is. Real calculation is like, is there an answer? Like, maybe I'm going to calculate for 20 minutes and there's not an answer. And it wasn't wasted time because, it was still worth calculating, but there's not an answer. And I have a very hard time pulling out of those situations. Okay, I'm really torn on which piece to take with because this knight can come in. So I guess I'm going to take here because of that. It seems wrong. I want the knight here. So that seems like a minor victory for my opponent. But it does allow me to play e4. Let's get the biggest center you've ever seen. We'll go here. Big center says what? I don't know. I have no idea if that was right. Okay. I think I'll just castle here. Okay, it's going here, which is a good idea. And I can't go here now. I think I'm okay having to bring my bishop back. Oh, we didn't look at this, but I'm covering it well. Yeah, so I'll bring the bishop back to here. Okay, that's a good idea. Really limiting my capabilities. I think I'm going to probably have to push through the F files, my guess. There's also this cool idea. Maybe I can do that. Yeah, let's just start heading that direction. I think this guy goes here, and then here, and then maybe... Okay, I'm okay with this. Now maybe he goes there. It does mean my queen. So I don't really want to play this because I want to play the rook over. I don't think I gain anything from that. But I don't really know where to put my queen. I'm going to put my queen... I don't want to put her there. Put my queen here with the idea of going like here, 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 or maybe even to 3. Oh, that's even better. No, that's not better, but it's fine. I'll take this way. Oh, wow, I didn't notice that. I was giving something up there. Whoops. Shoot. Okay, well, that didn't work out very well, did it? I gave up material. Taking my idea and using it against me? How dare you, sir? How dare you? That seems like a good move. Oh, no, I can't do that. But I can do this. And they cannot take. So they're going to probably push. And that's fine. I wanted to be over here anyway. Although my knight looks quite ridiculous. My queen looks quite ridiculous. Everything looks very ridiculous. This was my plan, right? This was my plan. Okay, I'll go here. Okay, that seems annoying. But does it just seem annoying, or is it annoying? Not sure. Let's go... Oh, this is hanging. Arg. Okay. Well, I kind of wanted him out of the way anyway, to be able to go here. That's not okay. Yeah, I'm going to lose because of this. I guess I got to go this way. And then I'm going to go here. It's like, what? Also, I think this probably would have won. I think everything went. I just played ridiculous. Here, I guess. I think my opponent had a win already. Boy, this was a bad game by me. This is a very bad game. Going there. I will go here. And I'll go here. Okay. What? Okay, I think we can resign now. Wow, okay, that was a terrible game. Oh, wow. I don't actually know what I play against the Bogo Indian, if I'm being perfectly honest here. So let's see. Okay, well, that's a move. What do I play? Explorer says that's the #1 move. Also, people use it to play the knight. I don't know which one I do. And here they play G3 or knight C3. Very rarely do people play A3. And then people play either one. So I guess I need to figure out which I do there. When we get done here, I will be opening my files up and seeing what I play. Okay. Engine does not like that move. And Foxy did a really good job just kind of jumping on me and squishing me. Which was a little bit annoying. Like, really quick, I'm like, I don't actually know what to do. Interestingly, that Peter likes G4 here. I didn't think this was great, because now he's got 3 on this. That seemed very strong to me. Peter says you can go E3 and hold it all, but man, that looks really bad. Like, all my pieces have jobs. It just didn't seem very good. And Foxy just broke me easily. So what was the big move? The big move was just taking this pawn, yeah. Everything kind of broke after that. And I got squished and crushed. Trying to switch your openings every time you play against me. Cool, I appreciate it. B4 worked to stop the knight, I thought, because the rook was hanging. Let's go back. B4. I was definitely looking at B4 if it's the time I'm thinking of. Yes, right here, I was thinking about B4. But I thought after here, ooh, yeah, you're right. That would be great. So was I looking at something else too? Not really. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this would have worked very well. I guess maybe they go here to save the knight. Well, okay, I guess not. All right, they can just move the rook over. And then this, they just go here. Yeah, so, yep, that was the move. You were right. And the funny thing is I was looking at it, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. Okay. Last thing we're going to do, I'm not going to do a deep analysis of this game, because I think this is what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm going to show you all What's going on here? Maybe my best game I've ever played. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow if that statement is true or not. But let's take a look real quick. It's a pretty short game. It was over quick. Like, I mean, it played a while, but it was over for a while. Okay, so I played d4. She played the Grunfeld. And this is the line I play against the Grunfeld. This was all expected. This is what I played, and what I expected her to do was the standard line. And I would do this, and then this looks very similar to what I normally play with my minority attack and the Carlsbad kind of stuff. That was what I was expecting. She did not do that. When we got to the defining moment, she went here. I took, and then she took my knight. And I was like, whoa, I'd never seen that. I'm not that experienced against the Grunfeld. It's not wrong. I assumed it wasn't wrong, but it's different. Most people don't play that. And then her queen is kind of in no man's land. But I couldn't really ever take advantage of it. I was looking at things like this. But then she could check me down this diagonal. I was trying to set up maybe something like that. But nothing quite... Whoa. Nothing quite seemed to work. So I just played normal moves for a bit. She played a normal move. This was kind of cute. I thought I had to take here. Because if I play here, which is what I wanted to do, I thought this was a basic tactic. Bam, remove the defender, falls. Can you see why it is not a basic tactic? And that actually loses the game. If black plays here, they lose. It was kind of shocking to me when I got home and looked at this game. So, they lose. Ready? We take, obviously. Queen's in jeopardy. They don't care, right? They just take my queen. But then, boom! The end is this! I did not see the rook was in danger. Yeah. So I totally missed that. I thought I had to play here. It wasn't a complete waste of a move because I'm hitting this, so I'm forcing them to do something. I was surprised when she played c5. I thought she would play c6. So I just played normal, playing normal moves, and then finally I play c4. And this is the moment. So this is either genius or madness. It's kind of unclear. So this is my thought. I go, oops. If I play c4, I calculated that she would probably play here. Maybe she could play like this or something, but I didn't think that would be good. Then I push this pawn, okay? I'm hitting the knight. My rook is hanging. But if she takes, I take back with the queen. When she moves her knight somewhere, my bishop gets to go in here, getting back the exchange. And now I have left her with all of these weaknesses on the dark squares. And my pawn center is like really impressive now. And the rook and the knight is pushed back. This is what I calculated. I calculated this for a long time. I tried to convince myself not to do it because this is the kind of nonsense I do that I lose. But I went for it and it worked amazing. So I did this. And she played e5, which shocked me. So I played h6, or bishop h6, as was my plan. She moves the knight. And so now, I calculated this as well, that I have this move, hitting the bishop, and going to this square, threatening the queen, threatening mate. They cannot use the queen to stop the mate. So I had to calculate all these lines of like, if she just takes here and takes here and takes my bishop, like, is it going to be enough to get the queen in? And to be perfectly honest, I had a very hard time sorting it all out. In the end, I thought it probably was going to be enough, but I couldn't quite see it, especially since she had all these different possibilities. But in the end, as the dust settles, my move was not madness. It seems to be genius. I have to really do some calculation work on it to see if I was right. I wanna go deeper with it. So I'm not looking at it with the engine to see if it was right, is the funny thing. But then from here, it's just kind of, win the game. I'm not sure I won it in the most efficient way, but I never was in any danger. And soon enough, it's mate. Boom. So if that all was sound, that has to be my best sequence that I've played. But at the same time, so I'm struggling with this. Do I say if it worked, yes, look, I can make the cool move, or do I say it was still bad? It was still a bad idea to go for it because I'm wrong so often on those cool moves. And if this is wrong, then I probably lose. Like, let's say we go here, 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 and then she has something here. Then I'm probably going to lose. But my thought was, it just seems so strong. Like the reason I first started calculating this is because I was like, what if I have nothing? This still looks kind of good. Like, her squares are so weak. This could be just like a color complex game where I win on the dark squares because I sacked an exchange, and then because of that, she was weak the whole game and couldn't quite cover it up. But then I was like, well, maybe she can end up going here and kind of put it back together a little bit. And so that prompted me to go deeper and deeper and to see this. And then, like, 2 pieces are hanging. Okay, how does she resolve this? And I looked at all these different lines. But I was terrified that somewhere in there I had made a mistake. And usually the mistake comes on, like, move 1. So usually it would be like, this queen can go somewhere devastating that immediately wins the game. And I'd be like, no. Or something like, this works. And I didn't see that. These are the kind of things that I've been losing to recently. But I went for it. It ended up being beautiful. Possibly the best game I've ever played. But I don't know. We'll see what the computing monster says. I'll let you know tomorrow. That's going to wrap up for today. Tomorrow we'll do some calculation work. I was going to do that today, and then I was like, man, no. I'm too tired today to try to do deep calculation work. I just played 5 classical games. I am tired out. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's stream, and I will see you all the next time. The middle game of mine is one of my favorites. It's engine approved. Ooh, nice. I got some advice the other day that spending 10 minutes on a move is a sign you should probably not play it for similar reasons. Yes! I find that advice to be very good for me. Because once I calculate for 10 minutes, I'm kind of all in at that point. I'm like, ooh, I want to do it. I've calculated, it works. But yeah, it usually backfires and I lose instantly, which is incredibly frustrating to go to a tournament and then lose instantly on something like that. All right, Fried Foxy, save the game. Tomorrow we'll look at your game also. How's that sound? We'll take a look at my game and we'll take a look at your game. All right. I will see you all until then. Catch you tomorrow.